Back in the lab. What's good, everybody? It's just your neighborhood angler, MoneyBass, out here. Not gonna do this thing we call Bass for Cash today, but we're gonna talk about it as I get all this mess and stuff cleaned up from my last tournament that you guys saw me posting about at Lake Gunnersville. So I still have all my rods and everything out here. I have a tournament, Battle of the Anglers, that is coming up this weekend on Lake Sinclair. The baits and stuff that you see here, I probably won't be using. Well, yeah, I think there's one or two things on here that I'll leave on the deck. But other than that, I have to go through here, put my electronics back on here, things like that, so we can get ready to go. All right, so just thought I'd bring you guys along for that because I don't know if you know or not, but a lot of the boat ramps on this lake out here, Lake Lanier, that I normally fish, those boat ramps have been closed due to the government shutdown. And we do not, well, I don't know when those ramps are going to be open back again. So I need to find an alternate place to go to get to the lake so we can, get things back on track as far as Bass for Cash and all that good stuff. But really appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. So we're just going to get straight to it, guys. Going to have to go through here and start organizing these rods and everything. From the tournament that just took place on Gunnersville. Now, it was a pretty decent tournament. On Sunday, though, there was a cold front that came through and pretty much changed the game big time for me. So I still managed to come in third place, which is pretty decent. It was a classic, so it was only 7 boats, guys. There was only the top 7 boats and the top 7 co-anglers that were participating in this tournament. And so out of those guys for this classic, I was, like I said, was able to pull off a 3rd place finish. And it was pretty good as far as the style of fishing out there. So caught most of my fish on a Fluke style bait. Well, not a Fluke style bait, but an actual Zoom Fluke is what I was using. So we're gonna get some of these things put up that I don't plan on using on Lake Sinclair. All right, let's see who's hopping in the chat, guys. I know you haven't seen me for a minute, so we have to get back into the swing of things. We got Mario. What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. We got George Jones and James Larry back in the chat. All right, really appreciate you guys for being the early birds and getting in on the live stream. We'll probably only be on here for about 30 minutes, something like that. Like I said, the main goal is to start getting some of my baits and everything rigged up and ready to go for Lake Sinclair Battle of the Anglers. Now, anybody watching in the chat, has anyone heard of the Battle of the Anglers that's taking place this weekend? If you have, type battle in the chat, BATTLE, type battle in the chat if you know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to the Battle of the Anglers. Just want to make sure you guys are up to speed. Shout out to Whipstick. I think Whipstick knows about Battle of the Anglers. He's going to be out there. He's one of the participants that's going to be out there trying to catch a fish or two. So we're going to see what he can do out there on the lake. All right, we got DB Fishing. What's going on? All right, shout out to Rory. DB Fishing says, "Oh, I know about that Battle of the Anglers." So yeah, we're going to be out there on Lake Sinclair, guys. I wonder if that water is going to be clear enough to throw a Fluke. I'll leave this one tied on just in case. We'll see. Fluke fishing is fun. I know if Ken was in here, Ken would be surprised. Ken KO, shout out to Ken. Strong supporter of the channel and member of the money team. He's always telling me to throw a Fluke every time I'm out on the lake. And so it just so happened to be that was the bait that I was able to pick out and make some things happen with. And actually, let's go ahead and get this Fluke off of here because we're going to need to retie that. Let's just get everything organized first. All right, who else do we have tuning into the chat? I think we might have a small crowd today, guys, because I haven't been on for a minute. So a lot of the regulars probably don't know that I'm actually live right now. So we're going to get all of these set up, and then I just have to go through, check the line on everything and the things that I plan on using. We're gonna tie on a few baits. I'm thinking I'm gonna primarily focus on four. I probably have either 4 or 5 rods is what I'm gonna have on deck. So we'll see. All right, so what has been going on with you guys lately in the chat? I see we have a few more people starting to tune in. So has anyone in the chat been out fishing? Have you guys been out on the lakes, or are you having this government shutdown? Did it affect your lakes also? Let me know the 411 on that, guys. Oh, and guess what, guys? I even broke out the Carolina rig. Let me swing this bait back over here. I broke out the Carolina rig this past weekend too. Let's go ahead and take that bait off of here. If you leave these baits on here, it'll eventually rust out your hooks. So we'll take that. Still a good worm, huh? Should I put it back in my tackle box? Yeah, I could probably reuse that one, huh? What do you guys think? Reuse it or lose it? Mr. Must Be Nice says, what's up, bro? You getting down on the 23rd multi-club event? We're talking about it, man. We're talking about it. That sounds like it's a good thing. It sounds like it's a good thing. Rory, are you still in the chat? Let me know if you're still in the chat, Rory. Oh, I forgot, Rory. You said you're gonna kind of lay low for the rest of the year and start back new next year. But yeah, I saw that tournament taking place on the 23rd on Lake Oconee. So it looks like we will need about 3 boats if if the guys want to participate in that. So yeah, I think it's a good deal getting everybody together. So we'll see what happens with that. Roy said, keep it. All right, so I'll keep it. No need to throw it away. So I'll put it over there for right now. And then when I get up here and start putting these baits back. All right, so look at this fluke, guys. Can you see it's kind of tore up? It's like, for me, I hate throwing away a whole bait just because it has I caught a lot of fish on it, though. Look at it. It's all ripped up and tore up. And so I did catch a lot of fish. By 9 o'clock, I would say 8 something, 9 o'clock on Sunday, I already had 8 fish that I had caught. And the problem on that lake, the size limit is 15 inches. Let's see. Did I use this one right here? Let's see. I don't think I used this. But the problem with this is I can't really put it back in this bag because you see it has some red. That red dye will leach into these other baits, so I can't put it back in there. Stephen, what's going on, Stephen? He says, use some Mended. Man, you know I keep some Mended, Stephen, but guess what? It's dried out on me, so it doesn't actually work. So looks like these 2 are not going to make the cut. Got to go ahead and get rid of those 2. And anybody that knows me, you know I like reusing my baits like crazy. So, but they got to go. So I'll leave these right here for right now. Put them right there so I can just toss them in a minute. We're going to get some of this other stuff out of the way. And now let's go ahead and hop up here. Let's see, I was putting everything back in my compartment. So let's put my life vest back in here. I'll put my boots on the other side with my rain gear. So we got that one done. I have an extra reel right here. I need to put that on a rod. Let's put these shades. Got my extra shades. We'll keep those in that compartment. All right, we'll check the battery. So, like I said, guys, what we're doing for anybody that is just tuning in is getting things tied on and ready for the Battle of the Anglers that will be taking place on Lake Sinclair this weekend. And it looks like we only had 3 people that typed battle in the chat. Are there only 3 people that know about the tournament that's going on? The live Battle of the Anglers taking place on Lake Sinclair. This coming weekend, there's going to be 8 anglers on the screen. Then we're going to have Chicken Hawk doing some of the commentating. Of course, we're going to have AC the DQ Queen. She's going to be on there handling business. And also, if you tune in and you're watching, we will be doing Bass for Cash on Saturday. So if you like fishing, you like to hear a lot of, trash talk and stuff like that while the action is going on, Battle of the Anglers is the thing you want to see. And while we're doing that, you guys can actually win some prizes, some cash prizes right now. But Bass for Cash is about to be updated as we start getting sponsors and things like that in place. So you guys will be able to start winning some prizes and things like that. Let's see. So we don't need this extra life jacket. So we'll put that up here. And this one actually goes in my compartment. So I keep one life vest that I wear all of the time. And then I keep a spare just in case. So let's push that down in there. All right, let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Mr. Must Be Nice says, melt them down and mold more flukes. I don't have any molds. James Blair says, I know nothing. All right, let's see. So we got to get all this stuff put away. Man, guys, I need another Bubba scale. Does anybody know where I can get a good deal on another Bubba scale? I need 2 spare Bubba scales. I had 3, and I ended up losing 2 of those things. You know they're kind of expensive, but we use them for Bass for Cash, so I need to keep those things on deck. So I need 2 more of those. Mr. Must Be Nice. What does he say? He says, it's our last club tournament Saturday on Oconee, and I thought you'd reach out when y'all doing these. I'm always down. Oh, man. Man, send me another message, because you know what? You could have, well, it's our last club tournament set. Okay, so yeah, you wouldn't have been able to fish this one anyway. But yeah, definitely reach out to me again so I can keep your name in the loop, because I did forget to reach out to you for this one, because we had like 1 or 2 spots open. And if I had thought about it, I definitely would have reached out to you. But yeah, make sure you watch on Saturday, and I'll definitely let you know about the next one. So what club are you with, Mr. Must Be Nice? It's kind of a long name. Let me see. I'm just going to start calling you Nice. How about that? What's going on? We got Jody tuning into the chat. All right, we're getting the crew back in action. So, yeah, I've been gone for a minute, guys. I'm out here just straightening the boat up right now. We just had our classic tournament. Our last tournament of the season was just this past weekend. So I'm going through here, getting everything organized from that tournament. And one of the first things I need to do is get the rods to the side that I plan on keeping on deck. So I'm gonna keep that one. Let's see. My Carolina rig. Nope, I'm not gonna keep that one. So we'll set that one right there. Now, what is this right here? My Fluke. So this setup, I actually have to take everything off of this one because I have an issue that I need to correct on that one. Oh, Atlanta Tightline. Okay, so you're with Atlanta Tightlines. So you know Gene and those good guys over there. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to get together and hang out on the 23rd. Oh my goodness, guys. That right there was a killer for me earlier this year on Sinclair. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna, Do I need to keep my spinnerbait ready? It really depends on how that grass is looking. So what I'll do is I won't put this on the front lines because I'm not quite sure. I know the lake is extremely low, so this will probably make first string. But for now, we're gonna put it down here. First, let me check the line, make sure everything is good on it. All right, so yeah, the line is looking good. All right, so we're gonna set that right over here to the side and where the co-anglers would normally keep their rods at. All right, so this is my dedicated. Man, this line is beat up too. I caught a lot of fish on Gunnersville with this, and I was throwing it on, I believe that's 15-pound braid, and I had that going to 12-pound fluorocarbon line. See, what does Nice say? He says, that's cool. Everyone calls me Nice. Old B-boy breakdancing name that stuck from 20 plus years ago. All right, cool. All right, let's see. So let's go ahead and get this fluke straightened up first. So yeah, I had a good time putting this fluke to work. So we'll see if Ken hops in the chat. Shout out to KO. So look at that bait. This thing is ripped open. You see that? The fish were munching on that one right there. What's going on, Junior? He says, all done fishing? No, sir. I fish all year round. The only issue that I've been having is that with the government shutdown, they closed down the ramps. So one of the main ramps that I use is closed down, so I need to find an alternative. Does anybody in the chat, is there anybody in the chat right now that fishes Lake Lanier? Roy says, looks like you have a plastic wrap for a new ducket rod. Oh yeah, you saw it. That's it right here. I bought this to throw minnow baits on, because you know that's the new thing, right? Everybody's supposed to be out here killing them on these minnow baits all the time. I've been throwing those things for, I don't know, about a year or so. I haven't caught one fish on it yet. I mean, I guess it's just not the technique for me. But Sinclair this weekend, water levels are going to be low. I'm definitely going to be staying shallow and covering water until I locate the fish that I need. So that's the game plan for me on Sinclair. Junior says, I thought the government was reopening. Somebody told me that. But when I went by there today, the gate was still closed. I mean, the gate was still locked. So whether they reopened or not, I guess they're not working yet. All right, so let's put this wrap over here because I got to put that rod back. Does anybody know what this is right here? Does anybody use these? Does anybody know what that is? Roy says Bayless is open. Okay, I might have to check. I got to see how close it is. You guys know I'm kind of lazy. I don't like driving too far. So, yeah, but that may be where I need to go is Bayless. We'll see. If there's a closer ramp than Bayless, then that's where I will be heading. All right, so now on my fluke, like I said, I have this 15-pound braid, and then I use an Alberto knot and tie that some 12-pound fluorocarbon. Using an Alberto knot, and I put a leader on here. I like my leaders to be about 15 to 20 feet, which for some people, depending on the lakes that you normally fish, will be an extremely long leader. But I fish a very clear lake. Lake Lanier is very, very clear. The water visibility on that for fish, for a person, I think it may be like 15, 20 feet. So for a fish, who knows how far those fish can see those baits. So I'd like to use, keep my fluorocarbon separate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 one way, then 5 back the other way. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then back through that loop. There we go. Then just slowly tighten that up so it doesn't put too much stress on the line as it's tightening. All right, there we go. Now we can put some force on it. So you want to test it, make sure your knot doesn't slip, and that knot is not slipping. The braid is almost cutting into my fingers when I try to pull on it. All right, so now let's go and cut these tag ends off. All right, so does anybody else have any tournaments coming up this weekend? Nice says he has one on Lake Oconee this weekend, and then he has another one on Lake Oconee the following weekend. What a coincidence. So you're going to have a little bit of info. You guys know I don't really pre-fish anymore. I just show up on the tournaments and just go for what I know. Whatever happens, happens. All right, let's see. Why does my knot look a little crooked? Let's check it and see what that is. Okay, maybe that's just my tag end. All right, now we're going to cut the tag end for the fluorocarbon. And I cut these knots as close as I can get it. And you got to make sure you don't nick your existing line, because that'll be a terrible day when you hook that 8-pounder and the line breaks. All right, so there we go. That's tight enough, strong enough to reel in an 8-pounder. All right, so yeah, so who else has any events or fishing or anything this weekend? Just drop some info in the chat. Let's see what you guys are up to. All right, so now I want to put about a 15-foot leader on this line. So let's just reel that in. Goodness. Appreciate that. Junior said no fishing, but I still gave the stream a like. Yeah, I wanted to get out there today. I went and checked the ramp, but I still couldn't get through. So I may have to just start going and finding another lake, guys, because I have been missing in action for a good little while, which is not good. Let's see. Now, how did this get a knot in it up here? And hopefully it didn't put a kink in the line. What's going on, Drew? James said 8-pounder, optimistic. Oh, yeah. It's the Battle of the Anglers taking place on Sinclair this Saturday. They do have some 8-pounders in there. Yeah, so I got a kink in the line now. I got to see. Hopefully this leader is long. No, it's not. Shoot, I have to retie that whole knot because I got a knot right here. You guys see that knot in my line? So I can't have that. So now I got to pull this line back out and retie that knot. It was a good knot too. Everything's been going all right, Drew. Just been waiting for the boat ramp to open back up because I didn't feel like driving all around trying to find an open ramp, but now I see that that's what I'm gonna have to do. Even though they say that the Gub Mint is reopened, the ramps aren't opening back up over here yet. Junior Martinez says, I got gifted a membership a few times, not sure by who, but please let them know I appreciate it. So yeah, so we want to give a big shout out to Clint Perry. He's the general of the money team. So we'll just go ahead and give credit to Clint Perry. It may have been somebody else, but Clint has definitely given out a lot of gifted memberships. So yeah, the money team is pretty strong, long and strong. All right, so who is going to watch? Who is going to be watching the Battle of the Anglers this weekend on Saturday? It's going to be 8 of us, 8 anglers going head to head on Lake Sinclair. You'll be able to see all 8 of us on the screen at the same time. We will be able to communicate with each other, and we will also be communicating with the chat. We will have AC. You guys know the DQ Queen. She will be live and in action, handling the commentating spot. And we got Chicken Hawk. Chicken Hawks, it will be a special commentator, special guest commentator this time. We're gonna see if we'll see if he can just focus on talking better than he can catching fish this weekend. All right. So yeah, so I see what happened. My line is kind of unraveling. So let's see how much of it we can save. There we go. That's how much we can save. Not much. Get that knot out of here. All right. James said he's going to be watching. All right. James said he's a government employee. Is that right? All right, let's see. Rory says, I'm going to check in on you. I've got a busy day on Saturday. Oh, yeah, you can just, there'll be enough action, Rory, to where you don't even have to watch. You can just listen in. When somebody catches a fish, you're going to know. When you hear, oh, my God, it's a biggin. that's that's your that's the cue that somebody might have something on. What's going on, Ken? Just in time. Ken, guess what happened this weekend? You see those, Ken? Can you see it? I was killing them on these flukes this weekend, Ken, on Lake Gunnersville. Have you ever fished Lake Gunnersville, Ken? Shout out to Ken in the chat. Everybody put KO in the chat. Shout out to Ken. Haven't seen you guys in a minute, but what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting everything tied on for the next battle of the anglers, the live battle of the anglers, guys. There's going to be 8 of us competing against each other this time. Let me tie this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to take it back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. And put it right back through that loop. And then we just pull it kind of slow. So I don't put any strain on that line until it knot tightens up. There we go. So now we got a good knot on that one. James says, no, said lazy government employees too lazy to open the ramps up quickly. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Roy said, the bendation is real. Oh, yeah, the bendation was sensational on Gunnersville this weekend. I caught 9, was it 8? I think I caught 8 fish by 9 o'clock using the Fluke on Gunnersville on Sunday, Larry. And I was throwing it on a spinning rod. Let me focus on this knot real quick. I was throwing that Fluke on a spinning rod with 15-pound braid. This is what I'm tying right now, 15-pound braid. And then I had that going to 12-pound fluorocarbon. And those fish were coming out of that grass and grabbing that fluke. So sometimes I would catch them when they're schooling. That was what I was trying to do, was trying to find schooling fish, because obviously that makes it a lot easier to pinpoint where your cast needs to go if you can look right there at the fish coming up on top of the water. Ken said, did you cash a check? Yes, sir. I sure did. Let me let me just show you guys. Maybe if you haven't been keeping up with the channel, guys, let me see if I can pull this up for you real quick. Let's see. Where are my pictures at? What happened to my pictures? Let's see, where are my screenshots? Goodness, what is going on? Recent screenshots, there we go. All right, there we go. There's your partner. Can you see it? Can you see those fish I was catching on Gunnersville? Those fish came on a fluke, Ken. Can you guys see that? Bam. So yeah, I finished 3rd place this past weekend on Gunnersville. And I caught my fish on a fluke, and I may have caught one on a wacky rig, I think. Oh, wait a second. It was a fluke, and then it was a Sammy. Fluke and a Sammy. So yes, sir, I did catch a check. Junior says, are you using Fluke's weightless? Yes, sir. I'm throwing them weightless, and that's why I'm throwing it on a spinning rod, because I can still cast those things real far. And I put either a 4 or 5/0 hook on there to give me a little bit more weight. All right, shout out to Beards and Bass. He says, this don't look like no lake. That's right, sir. I'm off in here in the lab. I'm getting ready for another Battle of the Anglers that's taking place this Saturday on Lake Sinclair. Ken says, I hope you were thanking me. I sure was, Ken. I was like, I can't wait to tell Ken about me catching all of these fish on a fluke. Beards and Bass says, you mean a fluke like an accident, right? No, sir. No, sir. And yeah, I was catching them on top water baits. And then I knew I needed to switch it up to something that I could get through the grass. And, you know, sometimes there's like floating pieces of grass. So if you throw something with a treble hook, I was catching fish, but it just kept getting caught up too much. And I didn't think that I would be able to throw a fluke as far as I needed to. But then once I decided to go ahead and put that fluke in action, it was ready to go. So there we go. So I just take 12-pound fluorocarbon and I just put just a regular straight shank hook on here. So is this the type of hook that you use on yours, Ken, when you tie your fluke? Junior says, I'll check in to see some of that fluke action. Yeah, I'm hoping that the water's clear enough for me to throw a fluke, but I have a feeling that that may not be happening for me. But, I mean, catching them on this fluke was so much fun, Ken. Listen, I can't wait to get back out on the lake again because I'm going to start throwing a fluke a lot more now. But I need to figure out a way to weight it a little bit more so it'll sink a little bit faster. Because the way that I was fishing it, I had to, when I put the fluke on there, and let's see if I can just grab one. So there we go. So that's what I was using. So when I put the fluke on there, depending on how this nose is angled, if it's angled up or down a little bit, it makes it pop out of the water or dive into the water a little bit better. So I need it to dive down a little bit more. So I probably need to put like a little weight in there. Another thing I wish I had was like a little toothpick or something that I could have stuck from the top of the fluke and through the eye of the hook to hold the fluke in place. But I didn't have any toothpicks or anything like that because I don't really fish flukes too often. So let's just double check my line, make sure it's all good. All right, there we go. Ready for some action. Junior said, and that stank. We got Pat tuning in. What's going on, Pat? Business Bass says, I use Z-Man chin locks, EWG. Okay. Ken says, put a tiny Split shot on it. Yeah, I've seen people doing that before too. I might have to do that. But we'll see. But yeah, so I like this Fluke setup. And this thing was casting so far. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting it to cast that far. All right, so as I'm getting these set up, I'm just setting the rods over here in the co-angler spot just so I can get the deck kind of cleared off a little bit. The next thing is this rod right here. So we're just, and look, it got to the point, Ken, I put 2 flukes on. I tied on 2 flukes because if one got messed up or anything, I wanted to be able to pick up another rod and just keep on rolling without having to worry about retying or anything. And so, yeah, I had 2 flukes on. And I guess what I'll do is just, yeah, this one's still good. So I'll just reuse this fluke. Ken says, Core Tackle makes a new rig weighted for flukes. Is that the one that kind of fits on the inside of the bait? I forgot what it's called, but if that's what you're talking about, I do have 1 or 2 of those weighted hooks. Pat says things are good. Oh yeah, things are going pretty good. Shout out to Frisco. Frisco was like, hey, bud, are you okay? Are you alive? Did they get you? What happened? Where have you been? I appreciate that, Frisco. Beer says, I caught a 5.98 on that lake we fished the tournament on. Are you talking about the Harris chain? All right, let's see. Ken says, this time of year, I throw a fluke. Ken, you throw a you throw a fluke every time of the year. There hasn't been a time that I have been on the lake all year round that you did not say throw a fluke. But I think I may need something with a little more splash to it, a little more water displacement on the top than a fluke. Pat says, is that gulp? What? Nope, no, that's what these are. Just regular Zoom flukes. You see, yeah, on Bouclair. Is that how you pronounce that? Bouclair? All right, so let's go ahead and get this. All right, guys, so this tournament on Saturday, I think it's gonna be kind of crazy. We're gonna have 8 guys. There's gonna be 8 guys competing, all of us live. You'll be able to hear all of us talking back and forth. We'll be able to interact with the chat. We're gonna have AC, the DQ Queen, will be commentating, and we'll have special guest Chicken Hawk trying out the commentator side of things. Since he hasn't been catching fish, we went ahead and kicked him off the circuit. so look, Chicken Hawk has to requalify to fish the Battle of the Anglers. He has to requalify. All right, so we're just gonna set that one to the side. All right, so now let's do a little bit of organizing. So look, those fish were biting fluke so good, I had to break out my box, break out my bag, and pull out a bunch of them just in case I started running out. Because those fish that were biting it, man, and a lot of those fish, the size limit is 15 inches on Gunnersville. So it has to be a pretty decent sized fish. So if it is not a decent sized fish, you got to throw it back. So we're going to finish taking a look at some of these baits, some of these rod and reel combos, all of that good stuff, guys. Let me know what kind of questions you have also, if there's something that you want to see. But for anybody that is new tuning in, if you're new to the channel, type the word new in the chat. I think we may have some new people tuning in today, guys. All right, Ken says, that should be funny. You can't be laughing. This is going to be this is real business. Some real business is going on out here. So, yeah, so I wasn't able to go to the lake today either, guys. The government shutdown still had the lake blocked off. What's up with that? Does anybody know? Can anybody help me out? All right, so we're going to close this up for now. The next thing I'm going to do is Let's see. Need to put this back in the rod locker. And I also need to pull out. That's my boat cover, and it's been down in there for a minute. So I need to take this out, spread it out, make sure I let it air out. All right, does anybody have any questions? In the chat, does anybody have any questions? Can somebody take a look and tell me how many people are in the chat right now? How many viewers do we have right now? Does anybody know? I want to give a big shout out to FishXLive.com. Now, when we do this Battle of the Anglers this weekend, there is going to be 8 anglers, where there are going to be 8 anglers on the screen, all competing against each other live. So if you like live tournament fishing, this is going to be something different than what you've ever seen on any other circuits. The closest thing to this, I would say, is MLF, okay? So on MLF, you're able to watch several anglers competing live all at the same time. But the difference with the format that we're going to be doing is the anglers that you see on the screen, we are all going to be able to communicate with each other and see each other, all right? We will also be communicating with the chat. So if you are interested in that type of content, make sure you go to fishxlive.com, click on the tournaments link. There may be some other tournaments on there that you can watch too, but FishX Live is pretty much going to be the same thing as a sports channel. But FishX Live is basically going to be focusing on live fishing tournaments, guys. Live fishing tournaments, live weigh-ins, all of that good stuff. So if you are any type of fishing organization, any type of tournament director, whether you're running a tournament trail, even for clubs, bass clubs, catfish clubs, crappie fishing, what else? Catfishing, any type of tournaments that you do, FishX Live allows you to live stream. It facilitates live streaming and links it to a live leaderboard and also a live chat, so your viewers can all be very interactive. All right, let's see. Let's take a look, guys. What do we have? Ken says, I was going to fish tomorrow, but I'm in the ER right now. Oh, my God, Ken. How are you in the ER? What happened? Give us the 411. Shimano says the biggest 5. So, yes, on Saturday, the winner will be the person that brings in the biggest 5 fish. It's winner take all. So, second place is as good as being in last place. But, I mean, I guess you have a little more bragging rights if you're not in last. But there's going to be some hurt feelings, guys. So, these guys, we will definitely be out there talking a lot of trash and everything. So, make sure you tune in to the Battle of the Anglers that takes place this Saturday on fishxlive.com. You download this app for free. You can download it for free right now, guys. Also, if you're somebody that is, it's time for people to start buying gifts for people. So if you know anybody that likes to tournament fish or host tournaments, this is the perfect gift that you can get for them. Go to FishX Live. You can get that app. Once you have a pro angler subscription, you can create and host as many tournaments as you want. All right. And if you want to see how all of this works, make sure you tune in on Saturday at 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be 6 hours of fast and furious fishing, a lot of comments, a lot of trash talk. Hey, so we're just going to be out there having a good time. All right, let's take a look at the chat and see. Frisco says, sail, sail, sail. Oh, yeah, we got to let everybody know. But, yeah, so what's going on, Ken? Why are you in the ER? What's going on, Mike Gray? He says 1.9K viewers. Frisco says second place is the first place loser. That's kind of harsh. Uh-oh, guys. Ken said he got hit with a mild heart attack. Well, I'm definitely glad you are here to talk about it. We definitely have to make sure that we put our health first, guys. You always want to make sure you take care of yourself. And I hope you have a speedy recovery, Ken. I know they're going to tell you to change your diet up, get a little exercise in. But right now, you probably need to get some rest. But definitely make sure you, follow the instructions of your doctor. All right, so Faith and Tackle says, let me see, my boy Chicken Hawk gonna be there. So Chicken Hawk will be on the commentating side. So he's not gonna be fishing, but he's gonna be doing the commentating this time. And let me just check something real quick, guys. Man, I hope we're not out of time, because I still have some more things to show you guys. So what I'll probably do, let me just check my time. We might have another 10 minutes or so left. But yeah, I still wanted to show you guys some of the baits and everything that I plan on using for the tournament this weekend. And who knows, maybe one or two of the anglers that's going to be competing will hop in here too. All right, let me just check real quick. Oh, yep, guys. Listen, I gotta go. But I will be back in about 30 minutes to, well, probably about an hour or so. Because I do need to finish tying these baits on. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you will be notified whenever I come back on live. And also, whenever we're doing the live battle of the anglers. Just, like I said, guys, it is something a lot different than any format you guys have ever witnessed. If you want to see what the battle of the anglers will look like, go to YouTube. If you guys take a look at my subscriber count, we are growing very fast. Go to YouTube, search MoneyBass Battle of the Anglers. MoneyBass Battle of the Anglers, and you will see the exact format from a previous tournaments that we've done. So this one will be on Lake Sinclair. There will be 8 anglers that will be on there. We'll have a live commentator, and we will also do this thing called No Bass for Cash, is where as the anglers are catching the fish, we'll put the fish on a measuring board. Let me just show you guys what the measuring board looks like. So we'll put them on a measuring board like this to give you an idea of the length of the fish, the girth, the width, all that kind of stuff. And if you are able to guess the weight of the fish, you will walk away with a nice cash payout, all right? So it'll be a lot of fun, guys, a lot of fun, a lot of action. Like I said, nothing like you have ever seen before as far as when it comes to tournament fishing, because we're going to be going at it, guys. Blow for blow, fish for fish, all right? Every fish over 1 pound will be a scoreable fish. But yeah, I got to take off, guys. I have someplace to be, and I got to be there when I got to be. All right, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And one more thing before we take off. Do we have any new viewers in the chat right now? If you are new, type the word new in the chat. I always like to see who do we have tuning in. Shout out to Faith and Tackle, says Ken praying for you. Oh yeah, definitely. Appreciate that, Ken. Ken says good luck Saturday, just in case I'm not on. Oh yeah, you got to hop on there, Ken. Yeah, everybody put Ken in the chat. Shout out to KO, guys. He's always been active in the chat, always showing strong support. So we have to make sure, that we let everybody know that we are praying and caring, caring about what's going on. Ken, really appreciate you. Shout out to KO. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. But remember, I'll be back in just maybe like an hour or so. I just have to run and take care of something real quick. Then we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you some of the baits, the rods, reels, lures, all that kind of stuff that I plan on stomping these guys out with on Saturday. All right, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Appreciate you.